So my name is Ashley Passow. I am the Senior Marketing Specialist here at RPAG, and if you follow any of our social medias or you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you've probably seen my face at one time or another for either webinars, our retirement videos, or anything in between. So I'm going to take you today through leveraging AI for marketing your practice. So first, before I get into the how, let's talk about the why, and why is this important? You're like, Ashley, I get clients through word of mouth, but marketing is really important, all right? So first, for every dollar that businesses spend on email marketing, they're making approximately $36 in return, which is a huge ROI. And then there's about 246 million social media users in the US. And with each averaging about 2 hours a day on social media, and also they have around 7 accounts across multiple platforms, it's no wonder that this is the biggest use for marketing. So first, you're going to be able to build your brand awareness. This means you're going to get your face out there, your name, your brand, and you're going to be able to be at the top of people's minds when they're ready to choose an advisor. And second, you're going to generate leads. If you are marketing accurately and aiming at your target audience, you're going to be generating qualified leads. And then you're going to be able to establish your authority. You're going to be posting and showing that you are knowledgeable about your field, about retirement, and people are going to trust you. They're going to come to you with questions. And this isn't just about prospecting, this is also about retaining your current clients. You want to show them that you are reliable and you are good at what you do. And then lastly, you're going to be able to differentiate yourself from your competition by telling people what you do and how you do it differently. And being an RPAG member helps a lot. And then last, you're going to be able to adapt to market changes. So you will have immediate feedback through comments, through email replies, or even without any engagement, you'll know that your content isn't working and you'll be able to adjust your strategy accordingly. Okay, so what is ChatGPT? So I actually asked it, and it said, I'm an AI created by OpenAI to chat with you, help with questions, and more. And then it says, if I seem human-like in my responses, it's because I've been trained on vast amounts of human written text to learn patterns and nuances of language. So it's not going to, create a consciousness and take over the world yet, but it is going to sound human because it has learned based on its previous interactions and from information from the internet. Okay, so there's a few things to remember about the AI. First, you're going to want to be mindful of bias and accuracy. So because it is learning from the internet, and as we know, the internet is completely true 100% of the time. Just kidding, it's not. So since it's learning from that, you want to just be mindful about that, fact check when you get a response from it. And then second, you're going to iterate and refine your requests. So you're going to give it a prompt. It's going to give you an answer, and you might not exactly love the answer. So you're going to want to tell it exactly what you're looking for, and that's going to help you train your AI. And then you're going to be ethical and mindful of the way that you utilize this tool. So just, be cautious of ethical guidelines. Don't be putting out a bunch of personal information on there. And then AI is meant to assist, not replace. So if you have a marketing team, please don't fire them. They're very good at what they do because this is a tool. It is not going to be replacing anybody like me on my team. This is going to be a helpful starter point and a great foundation, but it's not a complete, takeover of a marketing person. And then you are the one teaching it how to help you. So like I said, you're going to be training your AI yourself. So you want to make sure that you are using the wording that you like. You're going to tell it the tone that you want, your audience. So you're going to be teaching it how you would like it to be used. And then you're going to set clear objectives for your AI and give it specific prompts. So this will include your target audience, who you are, what your goal is, what your tone is, and any other information that you want to receive from the AI. So if there is anything that you retain from this entire presentation, please let it be these 3 warnings and write these down. These are so important. So first, this is data privacy. ChatGPT can retain and will retain every single piece of information that you tell it in its database. So if you put any monetary information, passwords, personally identifiable information, your name, anything, it will keep it, and it has the potential to regurgitate it to other people who ask about it. So just be very careful about what you're inputting into the system. Next, SEO penalties. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. You know, when you search something on Google and you have hundreds upon hundreds of pages of results. If you use word-for-word ChatGPT or AI-generated content, Google can detect it and it may dock you back in your search results. So if somebody's trying to find you, they might not find you. So just, if you do use that, I would edit heavily before you post it on your website. This does not apply to social media or emails because Google doesn't track that. And then misinformation. So like I said earlier, it does learn from the internet, so it's not going to be 100% accurate all of the time, especially if you're using ChatGPT 3.5, because it is only up to date until January 2022. If you did want the most recent, where it's actually pulling from the internet for the sources, I would upgrade to ChatGPT 4. It is $20 a month, and it does also create imagery besides just a chatbot. So there are a couple advantages to using it, but I've never used the upgraded version, so if you don't want to, you don't have to. Okay, so now we did the boring things. Now I can actually teach you how to use it. So we're gonna go through social media and emails specifically. So for social media, you have so many options for platforms, but based on your target audience, which is plan sponsors, I would use LinkedIn. Just because that's where businesses are, that's where people are looking to find more business-related people. And then you're going to be able to pull content from articles. This can be your own articles, or it can be something like the retirement times that we give you. You can take this, copy, paste the article, put it into ChatGPT, say, hey, can you write me some social posts? And it will give you social posts based on the article. And I'll give you an example in a minute. You're going to also want to check the hashtags. It is not 100% correct on things that people are going to search naturally. It'll have very odd hashtags, which I will show, but I would check them before you post them. So it might come up with some weird hashtag, and you're just like, oh, nobody will ever search this. So just check them before you post it. And then also have fun. Social media is an entertainment platform, so be professional, but have fun with it. Don't be afraid to use emojis or exclamation points. So we're going to do an example for social media. So you're going to say, make 3 short social media posts for this article. I'm a retirement plan advisor trying to disperse important information about retirement to plan sponsors and position myself as an authority in the retirement space. And then I copied and pasted the article. I just put copy and paste article for the example. And we're going to see what it comes up with. Okay, so I did give them who I am. I'm an advisor. And then the disperse important information. This is kind of my goal, and also the tone, this is going to be informational. And you're also saying who you're talking to, which is retirement, or to plan sponsors. And then you're saying your other goal, which is to position yourself as an authority. So it gave me 3 responses. It has the emoji. You can see it really likes the rocket ship emoji, which isn't always relevant to what we're talking about. So this is when I say you want to iterate and you want to go in and edit everything that it gives you if you aren't satisfied with the original output. And you can also see the hashtags. It says, let's see, in the second one, hashtag invest in tomorrow. I don't think I've ever searched that in my life, so I would probably take that out. And then the bottom one, hashtag retirement is coming. That sounds more like a threat than anything else. So I would probably remove that. But for, in general, this is actually a pretty good response from ChatGPT. And if you aren't very social media savvy, this is a great start for you. So this is one example. You can also ask it to make you 10 social posts. There's no limit here. But this will give you more content to be able to post more regularly, and posting more regularly will boost your viewing. So more people will see it. Yes?
I heard recently, and I don't remember where, that hashtags on LinkedIn really don't get you much.
It depends if they are followed hashtags. So that's the key. So if you're on LinkedIn and people are following that hashtag, it'll pop up in their feed.
How would we know?
So you can actually search a hashtag before you post it out. You can search hashtag retirement and you can see how many followers it has. Or retirement planning, that has that has a decent amount of following. You'll see when RPAG posts things, you'll see that hashtag retirement planning is a big one for us. And it's also to tag relevant information. So if somebody's a retirement advisor and they search a lot of and interact with a lot of things that are retirement advisor related, this is going to put us more relevant in their feed, if that makes sense. Okay, so what to take note of for social media with ChatGPT. Like I said, it really likes those rocket ship emojis. So that's how you can tell people are using ChatGPT. And also it really likes the power words: unveil, discover, delve, revolutionize. So just be mindful of very repetitive language, because then it's obvious that you're using AI for generating your content. And if you're just starting, it's not as big of a deal, but if you're starting to post more regularly, this is something to look out for. Okay, so now how to utilize AI for email marketing. So you can use it for subject lines, cold emails, warm emails, and can you guess the last one? Retention emails. I know you were all thinking that. So let's start with subject lines. Subject lines are very important. About 47% of all email recipients will open an email based on the subject line alone. So that's why this is important. You're going to want to give ChatGPT what your goal is for this subject line. Do you want them to buy something? Do you want them to just learn about a certain topic? Do you want them to know the latest retirement plans? And you're also going to want to tell them the tone. Is this going to be persuasive? Is this informational? Is this clear, very formal? Is this casual? It depends who you're talking to. Is this somebody you know? So let's do an example. Write me 10 subject lines for an email I'm writing to a plan sponsor about my new service for one-on-one advising with participants online. So I gave it my goal. I want the subject lines. I'm writing to a plan sponsor, that's my audience, about my new service for one-on-one advising with participants. So that's kind of my information. That's my specificity of the subject line. So let's see what it gives me. Okay. So it gave me 10 pretty good subject lines. You can Frankenstein this and move them around if you don't like any one particular subject line alone. So you could say, boost participant confidence, and then, which is number 7, and then go to number 4, introducing virtual one-on-one advising. So that's kind of an option, but this is a great starting point if you don't have any ideas. You're like, what am I going to say to get people to open this? So this is a great starting point. So now let's move on to cold emails. So you've never talked to these people in your life. These are brand new email recipients, and you want to get them to call you. So you're going to want to be really specific with who you are, who you're talking to, what you do, but you want to keep it short. You don't want it to be too long-winded, or else you're going to get spammed. Nobody wants to read a really long email from someone they don't know. And then you're going to proofread this, make sure it's who you are and the way that you would talk, because this is their first impression of you, so make it count. And also the audience, you want to make sure that the ChatGPT knows that you are talking to a plan sponsor. So let's do write a concise and semi-formal cold email to a sales prospect. I'm a retirement plan advisor writing to a plan sponsor. So, concise, I already gave it that, information. We got semi-formal cold email, that's going to be your tone. To a sales prospect, I'm a retirement plan advisor, that's who I am, writing to a plan sponsor, and that's who your audience is. So already, this is giving me this very long-winded email, and we don't want that, right? So we're actually going to say, no, make this significantly shorter. This is what I mean by you're going to iterate and refine your requests. So then it gives me this really short, brief email that explains exactly what I want. Trust this message finds you well. I'm, Ashley, a retirement plan advisor at, RPAG. Impressed by your company, I believe our expertise can optimize your retirement plan. I'd appreciate a brief call. What's a convenient time for you? Here's my info. This is great. It's short. It's sweet. And this is a great starting point. If you want to add any information in there saying, something special that you do that other advisories don't, that's a great time to put that in there. So let's move on to warm emails. You already have a foundation with this person that you're sending an email to. Either you've spoken to them before, you've emailed with them before, they've already reached out to you. So they are going to know how you sound. So when it gives you a response for ChatGPT, I would definitely edit this to make it sound more like you, and then read it out loud to yourself and say, is this really something that I would say? And then go in and edit it accordingly. Okay, so here's my prompt. I'm a retirement advisor with RPAG, and I want you to write a warm sales email to John Doe, the plan sponsor from Target. I've already discussed financial wellness for their participants with them last week, and I want to follow up to secure a business relationship with them. I put in a lot of details there so that ChatGPT understands exactly what I want. So I said who I am. I'm a retirement advisor. A warm sales email, that's kind of your tone and your goal, to John Doe, the plan sponsor from Target. That is my audience. I've already discussed this, and you give them the background. You give ChatGPT the background so it knows exactly what you want. So it gives me a subject line and it gives me a short email. It's pretty concise and it's a good example. So you have, I hope you're doing well since our chat last week. I'm excited about this potential partnership. Our tailored solutions are designed for this. Could we schedule a quick call to discuss, future goals? Looking forward to it, put your sign off. And this is a great start for you. I actually probably would send this almost as is. There's not that much that I would do. That's also because I trained this myself, so it does sound more like me than if I had just asked this without any training beforehand. Okay, so let's move on to retention emails. You want to send these because it's going to give your current clients the confidence in you as their advisor, knowing that you are an authority in your space, you understand what you're talking about, you care about them, you're helping them constantly, and not just when they're emailing you asking for help. Okay, so here's the prompt. We're saying, I'm a retirement advisor. I want to ensure retention among my current plan sponsor clients. Write me an informative email about retirement plan limits that I can send to them. So you have, I'm a retirement advisor, that's who you are. I want to ensure retention, that's your goal, among my current plan sponsored clients, that's your audience. Write me an informative email, that's your tone, about retirement plan limits, that's your specific item that you're going to be talking about that I can send to them. So let's see what it responds with. You don't have to worry about reading this, I'll go over it. Gives you a subject line, Dear so-and-so, hope this email finds you well. As your advisor, I'm committed to keeping you informed. Here's a bunch of information about plan limits. This kind of gives you a template that you can fill in. And then as always, I'm here to assist you with any questions you may have regarding these limits. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for your continued trust and partnership. Warm regards, Ashley. So this is a great starting point as well. This gives you, hey, I'm here for you. If you have any further questions, I'm here to help you, I'm here to support you. I'm also here to give you information about everything upcoming, which means I'm on the pulse of retirement plans. So it shows that you're on it, you're keeping up to date with everything happening in the industry, and that you're keeping your plan sponsors up to date. Okay, pop quiz. So this is what I brought this bag up for. So I actually have a few questions. So the first question is going to be an easy one. Does anybody know what ChatGPT's favorite emoji is? The rocket ship. Okay, I want to throw these, but I think you guys are a little too far. So maybe we'll have you come collect them after. I have little Easter eggs for everybody. So come collect them if you answered at the end, and I'll give those out to you. Second, what are the 3 warnings that I told you to write down in the beginning? If you guys want to grab the microphones.
Data privacy, SEO penalties, and misinformation.
Perfect! You get an egg at the end. Okay, and then the final question is going to be, can anyone name 2 things that you should be telling ChatGPT in your prompt for emails? Well, subject line, sort of. What? Can you use the microphone? Tone.
Audience.
And goal, tone, and details. Yes. Okay, you're also going to want to make sure you have your audience in there. You're going to want to say who you are as well, if it kind of gives them their perspective. So that's important. So those are my 3 questions. And now I kind of want to highlight, our YouTube channel. I did do a webinar on this exact subject a few months ago. So if you are wondering, hey, I kind of want more information, you can always go look this up, hit the subscribe button, and you'll be able to access everything. And usually there's a little bell in the corner. So if you click that, you're actually going to be notified every time that we post a YouTube video. And generally, that will be before we email it to people. This is going to be before we even put it on social media. So you'll be able to watch this before anyone else. And then I know I did go over ChatGPT today, but there are tons of different AIs. You can probably Google anything, and it'll be an AI. So you could use Grammarly for your spell check. I know I've used that before. Quillbot, which is a paraphrasing tool. Microsoft Copilot, that's the AI for a search engine. Jasper, which is content creation. It'll create templates for you for emails, social media, stuff like that. And Character AI, that's more of a fun one. That's a character personality, so you can tell it, hey, I want to talk to Aladdin from, Disney, and you can talk to Aladdin from Disney. So that's kind of the idea. There's plenty of different ones. There's also a lot of picture creation tools. I've used a couple, but I'm not super familiar. And also I noticed that it doesn't like to create hands very well. It's really weird, so if you want a picture from AI, I don't recommend asking for any hands because it'll give you 10 fingers. No, you have 10 fingers, 20 fingers, there we go. Okay, and then last, this is the summary. This is the big takeaway. Marketing is super important for your business growth. It's gonna be used as an assistant. With your ChatGPT, it's going to be used as an assistant to extend your content usage. This can either be any content that we give you, that we supply in our resource center, or any content that you currently have on your websites. And then you're going to fact check and edit everything that it gives you, just in case it happens to be incorrect or it's not reflecting your personal speech pattern.